Hey everyone, Johnny here from buildamusicschool.com. Hope you're doing awesome. I am wanting to talk today about what do you do when money is super tight and you are burning out. And you might notice I'm going Facebook Live on both our BAM Squad private group and our Build a Music School page. So I'm looking at two laptops of mine at the moment, so you'll see me chopping and changing a bit. But this question here I'm getting all the time, not just from say members in the BAM Squad, people I know are running their own businesses in my town that I know, people who send emails to buildamusicschool.com, people who's on our website we have, tell us your greatest frustration about running a music teaching business. And so many people are like, oh, I'm burnt out, money's tight, I can't get enough students and all these sorts of things. And I really feel for people, and I've been through this so many times, and I'll go through it many more times, I'm sure, in my life. But every time you get more and more prepared, but there are things that just happen, right? Where circumstances outside your control set you up for a really tough time. And I know money stress is one of the toughest things in business. And so I want to talk a little bit about how I think about it now and what I've learned over the years. And I really hope it can be beneficial to some of you that are running teaching businesses and things are tight. And I can see a few people have joined us. I can see some of our team. Hello, Melissa. Melissa's my assistant. You don't have to watch this. You'd be doing some work. And hey, Ellie. And hey, Corey. Good to see you, man. So let's get into it. So I've got four S's for you. And this is my thoughts when things are crazy and tight, and I know exactly what you're going through. The first thing you need to do is you need to sell, okay? So not sell your business, not sell a liver, not sell a kidney on the black market, but you need to focus on selling, because the thing that keeps your business alive is cash flow, right? And so you have to actually keep the cash coming in. And so that is the number one thing that you need to work on. Now, a couple things to think about is that when I think about marketing, a concept I took from a Jim Collins book is that you fire bullets before you fire cannonballs. You fire bullets before you fire cannonballs. And what that means is that if you're trying to sell, your music lessons, you don't try and go after, one big marketing idea and think that that's going to work and we're just going to fire everything at it. You fire little bullets at many different things, and when something's working, you double down on it. And so you're going to know what things are working, what's worked in the past. So take a look at all the students that you do have. How did you get them? Okay, maybe write down how these students came to be your students. Was it friends recommending each other? Was it Facebook adverts? Was it Google adverts? Was it a newsletter blurb in a local school? Was it performing at a church youth group? Was it whatever it is? Figure out what has worked in the past and how can you double down on that again. So that would be one concept. But the crucial point is that you need to focus on selling. So when you look at your to-do list, in this time when we're talking about crisis, so I'm not talking about like just generally your music teaching business is tight, okay? I'm talking about like crisis mode. You're burning out. You can see that you're going to run out of money in a few weeks. The number one thing that you have to work on is selling, like getting money in. So you look at your list and you do everything you can to work on getting money in. So that would be the first thing, the first S that you need to work on. Hey Don, hey Aaron, good to see you guys. We're doing a split screen Facebook Live here, talking about what you do when things are crazy tight and you're burning out, and it's a question we're getting all the time. So the next thing that you need to do is focus on saving, okay? And so the only ways to increase your margin are to raise your revenue and to lower your costs. And the greater the greater gap you can put there, the better things are. And when things get tight, it's because the gap has closed. And I'm not saying like, oh, I got this perfect. We still, the bigger the business, the faster those lines can move. And so the second thing after selling is saving. And so one of the tricks that I would use is if you use accounting software, you would pull up your profit and loss statement. If you just use your bank statement or an Excel spreadsheet of all your expenses, you pull that up. So whatever you use, pull it up and look through every single expense. It might take you a whole evening, and you literally look where every dollar is going, and you ask yourself, like, right now for this season, do I need this? Is there any way to save? Even like a couple weeks ago, I got a new phone because my screen busted on my iPhone, and so I said, hey, can we relook at my contract? And so pulled up all the data and to see what I'd been using. And of course, plans change, things become more competitive. And so we actually managed to save like a crazy amount on my plan, hooking both my wife's phone and mine up to the same plan. And so that monthly saving, I don't know what it was, but it was like at least $50 a month. That was something by intentionally looking, I was able to save. So if you go through every single thing, and I know we used to have a guy on the team that loved saving. He was actually a pastor's kid, and his dad, ran this small church, and so they had hardly any money, and they used to call him Pastor Bargain because he'd always find a bargain. And he would call like our phone company at our school and try and like hustle the price down. It was one of our team, Caleb, hilarious. But that's the second thing, saving everywhere you can save. Now, what I would say is make sure that you're not saving by cutting things that are saving you time. Okay, so let's say there's a piece of software that you use that actually saves you 10 hours a month, and it costs you $50. Don't cut that, because otherwise you're saying I have to do an extra 10 hours to do this manually, and that's going to cost me $5 an hour of my working time. So don't cut things like that. If there's something that's moving you in the right direction and it's reasonable, like, you keep it. So don't ruin everything, or lose penalties if you cancel a certain subscription or software or something like that. But think through all the things that you can scrimp and save on, or you get the idea, right? So saving is the second thing that you need to really focus on. Third thing, and they're all S's today. So we've talked about, like, the first thing is obviously to sell like mad, get as much cash flow coming in. So that means all your spare time is focused on, driving the revenue up. And then, when you can't be on the phone and you can't be out hustling the students, you focus on saving. And so that's the second S. The next one is simple. So this is something I've thought a lot about recently, is about just getting down to the basics. Like when you're stressed out and it's this chaos time, and you are really struggling to pull everything together, you need to keep things simple, because this is not the time when you're in this emergency for you to start working on fancy chord charts for students, or you're not going to start writing worksheets on contrapuntal elaboration of static harmony in this time. You're going to focus on the meat and the potatoes of your business. And you know what? It's actually okay, and this might relieve some of you, if you're in this crisis mode, it's actually okay for your lessons to maybe be slightly less prepared for a couple weeks, for them to be, for your admin emails to actually be answered, a few hours or days later than usual. The certain ones, not the sales and really important things, but some of the stuff you actually have to think, like, what's the most simple things that are going to get me through this time when it's chaos. So focus on this stuff. This is not the time for you to start rebranding your business. It's not the time for you to sit down and write an elaborate marketing plan. Heck, it's not even the time for you to sit down and watch like all the Build a Music School training programs. It's actually, you need to go find the exact ones that you need. You skip wherever you need to go in the course, find the exact things you need for right now and go solve that problem. Jump in the group, find the answers to the problems and jump on them. So just do the most simple things. Don't be like, trying to design stuff, write fancy curriculum, go shopping for new equipment. Don't be trying to figure out new keyboard patches. Don't be trying to figure out like new recording equipment for lessons to make them cooler. You can do all that stuff later, but right now, when it's crisis zone, you're on the phone, you're on the email, you're out in the streets, you're hustling, you're talking to every student, trying to get, you're trying to sell, you're trying to get everyone in the door because they will pay you, and then you are able to pay all your expenses. And if you can sort that out, then the cash flow problem goes away, and then you can start preparing yourself for when this might happen to you again, and you can be, seeing the problem, 6 months ahead, a year ahead. So that's 3 S's. Let me give you a 4th S. I'll just say hi to a couple people that have joined us. Hey, Nathan, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well, man. And KV, this is timely for you. Man, this is cool to hear, man. So cool to have you in the group, bro. And good to have a comedian in there. I love watching comedy. And so hopefully we'll get to see some of yours one day. All right. The 4th S for when times are crap, right? Just being honest, when times are crap, money is tight, you're stressed out, you're burnt out, you've probably not just got that business stress, there's probably other things. We're humans, we can't actually avoid drama in our lives. I was telling my assistant this morning, we got some drama in our own family. Actually, there's my wife ringing me right now, and I should call her back straight after this because she's got a little drama in her family. You can't avoid drama. We're all going to have it, and it adds to the stress of your life and your business. And so what we need to do, this 4th S, is probably one of the most important, and it's this: support. I think especially us guys, we probably don't like talking about feelings as much, or feel like we need to be tough and hold it all in and feel like we've got our lives sorted and we've got it all together. What a load of crap. What nonsense. You actually need support. And there's obviously all sorts of different types of support. Like you can have the pastoral type person that sits down, listens to you and really thinks things through. On that sort of level where it's more deep thinking and talking. You can also have the motivator, sort of ramp you up and kick your butt type, and you can have the support from the accountant who sits down strategically and talks to you about finances and numbers and gets all the into the maths and the details and logistics. And there's all the different types of support. But how I sort of think of the leadership thing is that your job is to keep like pouring out to your team and to your students, and think of it like filling a cup, right? You every day that cup hopefully starts full after a good night's sleep and healthy breakfast and a jog or whatever, but the rest of the day you're pouring that cup out into other people. All your energy is being poured out to what you do, and you actually need the support when times are tough because there's less in the cup, and you need someone to be filling that cup up for you. And what I find the most helpful in these crazy chaos times in terms of support is actually the support from a business owner, mentor, leader who's been there before. Because so many times, let me rephrase that differently. I'd say that a lot of people would think that when times get really, really tough, like maybe it's extremely tough for you, most people, I don't want to sound judgmental, but most people wouldn't push through that. A lot of them would just give up and go, oh, this is just way too hard. This is unreasonable. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to do something else and figure out how to exit. That's not the support you need at that time, those sorts of people. You need the business owner who's maybe they own the local, I don't know, tire shop, bakery, real estate firm, anything. Like you need some other people in your life. Obviously the BAM squad's like one of the perfect examples because you are talking with people who are like, yeah, I get it, man. I'm doing this every day, and they're there with you at different stages of the journey. But outside of that, you need people that are going to, they're on the other side of that breakthrough. They've got to the brick wall and they were able to smash through it and get to the other side, and they're able to stop and listen. And because they're not emotionally invested in your situation and all the craziness, they're able to give you much more sound, structured advice around, you need to do this, this, and this. You've got this, man. You can power through. Stop doing this. Focus on this. Almost like, what I'm talking to you about today. Make sure that, you're focusing on the right things. Selling, and you would get into details, obviously, with this person. Obviously, the details of what you're going to do around selling, what you're going to do around saving, what are the simple things you need to work on, and what are the things you can, push back. Some of the things, when you're a business owner, you think everything's urgent and important. It's not. And in chaos time, you need someone to actually be like, all right, let's step back, and they're able to help you make those clear decisions. And then they're able to kind of kick you in the butt and go, come on, man, you got this. Let's push through and let's make it happen. And they'll call and check up on you, or, catch up with you in a Facebook group or whatever it is. So that is the fourth S you need in these crazy times. If you're burnt out, struggling with the finances, money is tight. So just to recap, the importance of selling, focus on selling, getting the money in, saving, so looking at every single expense, because every dollar adds to tens of dollars, every tens of dollars adds to hundreds, and every hundreds adds to thousands over weeks, years. That adds up to a whole lot of money, and it's going to really help you if you can nail that and increase that margin there of between your expenses and your income. We call that I call it my line of contentment, where I'm content with my expenses and living standards, and then the revenue is up here. The goal is always to have a gap with your line of contentment. You never want, most people have oodles of credit cards, and their line of content, here's their income, their line of contentment's up here. I think I need, more than I can afford. And it's very easy to get into that trap with business, because often, if you're not watching the numbers, money's just coming in and going out every day, and it feels like you're just a bank just passing money along to, so you got to track every cent. So that's the saving part. The next, talk about simple. So when it's chaos, you need to focus on the simple things. Now's the time to be doing the meat and the potatoes, not cooking some fancy 5-star meal. You are doing the things that are going to get you through, the most crucial things. You're not watching TV. You're not going out to wasting oodles of time in this period, going to movies, taking a long hike, all that stuff. You're like in the zone, crisis. Let's get through this. Focus, accountability, do the right things to get you through. And then final one, support. So make sure you've got that person where you can call them up, you can turn up on their doorstep, you can ask to meet for lunch, you can pick up the phone and just go, hey, things are crap, can we talk? I just need to let it all out, and then help put me back together and kick my butt and send me on my way. So make sure you have those people in your life. And of course, Building Music School is there for you as well. So if you are not a member, we're streaming today 2 different laptops to both our members and to our Facebook group. If you're not a member, check out buildingmusicschool.com, because they are the coolest people and support network if you are growing a music teaching business, because there's people from a handful of students right up to thousands of students who are going to be able to help you and give you really just like good solid advice in these times. So there we go. I hope that really helps people, and I'll save this video and release it as a vlog as well for you to come back to. But those 4 things is what I've learnt, and that's what I try focus on. And when things are crap, it is very easy to be emotional and forget, think, woe is me, or get caught up in the situation. But you actually have to come back to those 4 things, and those are the things that are going to get you through. So if it was easy, everyone would have a music school. If you have a team, well, all of them would run their own music school if it was easy, but it's not. And so that is why you are doing what you do. You're pushing through, you're making things happen, and developing not only perseverance, but character and leadership skills through all these times of trial. So if you're in this position, then yeah, first, I hope this was awesome for you, but I just want to encourage you that push through. It's going to be okay, and get the right support that you need. Thanks, everyone. I hope you have a fantastic morning, afternoon, day, evening, wherever you are. Feel free to get in touch if you need to.